Hi, my name is Dean Sickler with Golden Paintworks. Today I'd like to demonstrate another texture from Golden called sandstone. Sandstone is a synthetic texture with a very fine aggregate inside of it, like a fine sand, that should let you create either smooth or rough effects. Today I'm going to demonstrate a technique which will imitate the look of concrete. I'm going to be using two different colors of sandstone. I already have one coat applied here on the wall, fairly smoothish. This is colored to a Benjamin Moore color called platinum gray. You can have your local supplier color it up for you. And I'm also going to be blending in some untinted sandstone. So it's basically a colored sandstone and uncolored sandstone. So let me cover half the board here and I'll come back. Okay, I have about half my board covered here with the tinted sandstone over the already tinted sandstone. You can see there's not a whole lot of color shift between dry and wet sandstone. If you want to create a rough effect with sandstone, you can do what's called a pull-up knockdown. Take your trowel and pull it up like this. Some spots more than others. Clean it off and very gently knock some of that down. This will create a rough kind of a texture that's reminiscent of a English country, French country, something like that. But we're going to be doing a smooth technique here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a little bit of untinted sandstone, okay, and I'm going to gently tickle this into the colored sandstone. You want to look for a lot of variety. You don't want to create identical size patches and stuff on the wall. You want it to kind of fall accidentally. Okay, I'm letting it just gently come off my blade. Okay, now I'm going to start blending it in. The reason I'm only covering half my board here because I'm trying to show you how to work with this wet edge here. Okay, so here we'll continue. Start blending this. You see I'm blending from all different directions here. Just blend it in enough so there's not quite so much contrast between the tinted and untinted. Then we have to let this set up for a few minutes. We'll come back and finish it off. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and continue applying the plaster on the rest of the board. When you're putting the two patches together, you want to make sure you just kind of come from the outside, come in like this. That'll help them blend in perfectly. Now I'm going to tickle in some untinted sandstone into this part of it. Okay, once that's on, I want to go inside and blend it together very well now. Short strokes. Take off the excess. Okay. Now you don't have to make it smooth at this point. I'm going to have to let this texture set up for about 25 minutes or so. Then I'm going to hit it with some water and smooth it down even more. That'll help blend it a little bit more and actually bring up a little bit more visual texture. So let me let it set and I'll come back. The texture is now set up for about 25 minutes. You can tell when it's ready is when you can touch some of the thinner areas and it doesn't come off on your fingers. I'm going to take a spray bottle here, give it a couple shots to make sure a fine mist is coming out. And I want to hit the area that I'm going to be smoothing down. Just to lubricate the surface with the water. And then smooth it down one more time again. This is where you will get all the beautiful, subtle coloring that you'll see in concrete. You want to let the texture set up for a little while because it needs a little bit of resistance to the trowel. That's how it'll create a lot of this interesting texture. You also want to stand back from your work once in a while to make sure that the flow looks correct. Looking pretty good. If you want, you can actually add in a little bit more visual texture again by putting in some either the untinted or the tinted, depending on which you want. Okay. Okay, I'm going to let this set up again for another 10-15 minutes and give it a very light burnishing again. Okay, now it's been about 30 minutes and the texture is really coming to a nice set. I'm going to give it one more polish. There may be a couple areas like over here, the contrast is a little bit too great between the white and the gray. You may want to just reduce that a little bit. Give it a final polish. Okay, and done.